Hello everyone, welcome to your Q&A ahead of game week 28 with the deadline looming tomorrow. I'm on a free hit, Sam. I'm excited. I've got in a load of Chelsea players, a load of random players like Che Adams and I don't know, Willocks in my team at the moment. It's all very exciting.
Not
How are
a
you getting
free
on?
hit. Yeah, all right, thank you. I've done nothing to my team yet
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm not free hitting. My team actually is quite nice for this week. So it's missing some Chelsea, that's for sure. But that will happen today. I'm ready for tomorrow.
Very nice. Defence? Going for defence?
Probably, yeah. I mean, actually, I do have a midfielder spot as well that could become a Chelsea player. But I think for me, the logical thing to do is just to not take a hit this week. The teams, I mean, I've got 6 doubling players already. So might actually have 7. So it makes sense.
Oh, wow. 7 doublers without...
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so it makes sense to just play through it and, yeah, probably go... Well, I was waiting for Tuchel to speak, which he's done now. So it's just a question of Rudiger or James, really, now.
Yeah. Thanks to Nuclear Atoms in the chat. This is a more professional stream. Won't see any screw-ups. Don't know if anyone saw the chaos that was last night with the members' videos with Mark and Andy.
Nice to be called professional, isn't it?
It is. Very rare for us. Yeah. I've sent Andy and Mark a very stern email this morning and some instructions on how to avoid that happening in the future. For anyone wondering.
Like getting called to the head teacher's office.
I was at the pub and I saw it and I just saw it come up with Q&A game week 25, Sam and Chris, and I was like, what have they done? How has this happened?
Did you think it was me? It was just me going rogue with Chris.
Yeah, just a rogue Q. You and Chris a rogue Q&A at like 9:00. Yeah, absolutely. Right, so get your questions in the chat. We will go through as many of these as we can. If you want to send us a super chat as well, we'll make sure we definitely answer those. But we'll try and answer kind of as many as we got. If you're on free hits, let me know. I'd like to know who you're putting in your side. If you're wildcarding, let us know who you're going for as well. And obviously with the Chelsea players, which Chelsea players you're thinking of getting in. Just before we get into that, I just want to talk about Club. I did a video with Adam, who's one of the founders of Club, last week. I thought it was great. So it's a really cool sounding new mobile game coming out. They're partnered with Scout. It's coming out next season. They're hoping to bring out next season. There'll be like a beta for it as well. Essentially, it's a bit like a fantasy football manager crossover. You design your club, you choose your badge, your stadium, you pick like manager traits. Do you want to be like a Pep Guardiola, or do you want to be, how do you want to set your team up with your formation? You also have like you're an owner as well, so you can be like Abramovich, although maybe less said about him the better, or you can be like a manager, an owner who wants to do everything the right way with green sponsors and that kind of thing. And then you basically pick a squad and they earn points based on real life performances, and you go up the leagues. You can buy better players. There's like youth academies where you can get these players in. It's a really, really kind of elaborate big game, and it's completely free to play as well. So if you're interested in that, check out the video I did with Adam. Check out the links in the description below to learn a bit more about it. And yeah, I think it sounds really cool. I'm definitely going to be playing it. So if you're interested, give it a look. Right, Q&A. Let's start from the top. So our first question was from Danny Merritt. Hi, Danny. I'm doing Davies to Reece James and getting rid of De Bruyne. Interesting. Who should I get in midfield? Rafinha, Mount or Havertz?
One of the Chelsea boys. The question is which one. I spent some time reading about the new Leeds manager, and I'm slightly concerned, not about him, because I think he's decent, but I don't know that he's necessarily at the moment got the personnel at Leeds that he would want to play the normal systems that he likes to deploy, and we saw it at Leipzig. So if he does have the personnel, then he likes to go through the middle to the striker so quickly. Now that's in historic terms, we go with Rafinha, wouldn't we? You go out and out with Rafinha, and I don't know what impact that's going to have. So for me, it would be one of the Chelsea midfielders.
Come on.
I don't know which one I prefer. Do you know what? The thing is, I struggle with which one, because I actually really like Ziyech. And if he was, and Tuchel came out and said, like, Ziyech is back in training, I do really like him. I just worry that he's not going to get enough minutes. So I think of those two, if it was a choice between Havertz and Mount, I think they're both good options, and that's why I'm stopping.
Stop sitting on the fence. Come on, pick one.
Mount.
Okay.
But it's just Mount.
My thoughts on it are, underlying stats-wise, Mount absolutely destroys Havertz. He's a great creator. He's getting forward. He had big chances in the cup final, but I'm worried about his minutes. I'm worried about his minutes. Yeah, that's
the problem. And
I think Havertz plays both. Yeah, Havertz plays both of these games, in my opinion. Mount, I think, gets rested in one.
Yeah, that he's benched Lukaku for Havertz in recent weeks suggests that actually Havertz might, and that's why I think it's tight, because when you go through the members stuff, it all looks like you should be going Mount. But I've been bitten by Mount and his rotation before, and I do think Havertz is the one with the most game time.
I think Havertz on a free hit, Mount as a transfer on a wild card. That would be my decision, because I think Mount is better long term than Havertz.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Yeah, okay, good. We've had some super chats. Hi to Paul Spencer 007. Yes, love it. James Bond in the chat, the new James Bond. Game week 28. Would you bench boost these four players? Foster, Cancelo, Martinelli, and Bowen.
Foster, Cancelo, Martinelli, Bowen. So Martinelli's got a lovely fixture against Watford. Yep. Cancelo's got United, but it's United and he could easily get some attacking returns in that game. Bowen.
You do Bowen out, don't you? You do Bowen out to Rafinha if you haven't got him, Ward-Prowse, Willock, my mate, and then you bench boost that. You don't bench boost with Bowen. You take him out for a -4 and try and hit a big haul. That's what I'd do.
You could even go with Kulu. Like if you like Everton, and then be ready for the double next week with Spurs. Plus, if you don't have free hit for 30 plays, then like there are other options that are better than Bowen, I think.
I wouldn't bench boost with Bowen. So if you're intent on keeping Bowen, I wouldn't bench boost it this week. If you're determined to play the bench boost, I'd sell him even for a -4.
I think I agree with that, because the other three look bench boostable.
Yeah, the other three are fine.
Yeah. So I think I tend to agree, and it's not difficult to replace Bowen. That's the other thing. He doesn't say who he's got in the rest of his team, but if you don't have Aston Villa, then you could go with one of those in replacement for Bowen. You know, you could go Coutinho or
even
Ramsey.
Even Ramsey.
Yeah. So any of those work.
Yep. Agreed. My thing's gone a bit weird. Oh, it's all back now. Let's skip Bayless. Hello again. Thanks for joining us. Oh.
It's okay, Jake.
I'm not happy with that dog guy. I don't know who that is. Hang on, let me just check.
It's probably his food delivery. Didn't we have that last time on a Q&A?
Talk about professional streams. I'm having a go at Mark and Andy.
It's all gone.
I don't know who it is. I'm not answering the door anyway. It genuinely looks like a Jehovah's Witness, which is... I didn't even know they were still looking around. I think he's holding a little Bible thing.
Oh, we can read to Jake then, can't he? Calm him down.
Sorry, everyone. I shouldn't have had Jake in with me with these going on. Right, what are we even doing? Let's skip Bayless. Sorry, let's skip. Pays us money in a super chat, and then my dog goes.
Then you disappear off, yeah.
So professional. Right, Cancelo to James for a -4. This is a really good question, I think, because this is a question that a lot of people are going to be debating. Trent as well. Yeah. Trent or Cancelo out for a Chelsea defender. And then Bowen to Mount for a -4 as well. So this is a really good question, because this is taking out good single game week players to try and tap into this double game week. Thoughts?
And the thing is that with particularly with Cancelo, taking him out is a really big decision, because you are surely going to want to have him back. It's not going to be a...
Do you though, given that City won't have another double?
Oh yeah, but this is kind of like, I think if you look at the City fixtures between now and the end of the season, how many clean sheets do we think there are in there? Well, there's Crystal Palace, I'd expect decent opportunity for a clean sheet there. Burnley, same with them. Definitely Watford. Depending upon where we are with Leeds, probably Leeds. I'd also expect them to clean sheet against Newcastle. That's 5 that you would just expect to have. Now, with Cancelo, you then have the attacking potential. Now, I get that Reece James obviously gives you the attacking potential and a better fixture run and doubles. Is there not someone else you can sell rather than Cancelo? Because I think owning both of those longer term is what you would want.
I don't think there is. Not if you're doing for a -4 and you're just you're looking just to make a sideways move. Because assuming most people have got Trent and Cancelo, you're unlikely going to have another 6.2 defender. So if you haven't got the money in the bank, that is the decision. That is the decision for a lot of people. I feel a little bit different.
Would you do it?
I think I would do it. Yeah, I mean,
would you?
Have you Chelsea's run between now and the end of the season?
Yeah, it's really nice.
I mean, nice doesn't even begin to like they basically play.
It's just Man United that's slightly difficult. The rest of them are
I mean,
good.
is that even difficult? They don't have Liverpool, don't have City. They've got good looking, home games. You've got Norwich, Newcastle, Brentford. Around the blank. They've got 2 games to be rearranged as well. So they're going to have 2 extra double games plus the 30 and the 31, which is going into this week.
Yeah.
I would do it. I think you need to have a Chelsea defender this week. I think they get 2 clean sheets. And I think Reece James is the one to get long term as well.
I don't disagree. I do not disagree with anything you've just said. I absolutely think getting a Chelsea defender should be the priority this week. I would just try everything in my power
to not sell Cancelo.
Sell Cancelo and find the money to sell, because you've got other defenders in there. All right, you might have to find $1 million, but I think I'd rather take Bowen down and take the money from him and get somebody else. I'd take him to Ramsey instead.
Yeah.
That's just me.
It is a difficult one as well, because I mean the other route into getting a Chelsea defender is probably by selling a Wolves defender. Yeah. Going forward, but you don't want to do that this week because Saces or Wolves defenders have got Palace and Watford at home, 2 home games.
Yeah, and actually the fixtures beyond that look quite nice as well. It's only really game week 33 that the Wolves fixtures sort of start to take a bit of a turn with Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool in that last 7. Otherwise, the next 5, Palace, Watford, Everton, Leeds, Villa and Newcastle, you could, and even with even looking at that in a slightly negative way, there's still plenty of clean sheets in there for those Wolves defenders.
Yeah. Thank you to Satyam Kent, who points out I keep touching my nose. Do you know today is the first day of hay fever that I've had?
Is it?
Yeah, which is how I know winter's kind of coming to an end. Look at me, I look awful. I can barely see. My eyes are itching. My nose is running. It's terrible. I
haven't been outside today, so I haven't really.
I went out and I came back and I'm just like a wreck. I haven't because I haven't got any stuff. I haven't got any like tablets or beacon.
I only get hay fever every other year, so I think it must be to do with what type of pollen I must be allergic to. Anyway, this is irrelevant, isn't it?
It is irrelevant.
Gone off again.
I mean, he said I need to wash my nose. That doesn't even make sense.
Go on then, off you go.
Do you even if I didn't have hay fever, wash my nose? Is that even a thing? I don't know. Anyway, this really is a professional stream. Right, let's take a look at some other questions. I just look so haggard this morning. It's terrible. Okay, let's have a look. Anthony Lynch, currently on the same free hit team as but I have Bro and Jimenez instead of Kane and Willock. Kane is an interesting one because I've got 2 single game week players in my free hit team at the moment, which is Salah and Kane. I'm going off Kane a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen with Spurs and Everton. I think it could be really tight. I think Spurs could win it quite comfortably. Kane is playing really, really well, though, as I'm sure you have been aware of.
I'm well aware.
Well aware of. But then I don't want Jimenez. Like, I've seen Jimenez play. Jimenez is playing like Kane played when he was just ambling around, disinterested, not getting anywhere near the goal. I don't think he scores highly this double game week. I look at Watkins as well, and I think, do I really want to go there? He looks like he's going to frustrate. I think I'd rather have Kane than him. Yeah. But then I think of like Broja And I think, I know my tweet didn't exactly land particularly well last week, but, he scored a great goal again in the cup. Southampton's attack is really nice. In just a straight up shoot between Broja and Kane, who's the better option? Who do you go for?
On a free hit. So if you not got Broja because you've got Shea Adams?
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, I could play Broja. I could play Broja over Willock or Kane. But do I want to?
I honestly think that Kane will score really well this weekend. Monday night.
Yeah, but you always say that.
No, I don't. Not always. I mean, I also think that we will concede. But I do think that fixture against Everton is good for Kane. His record is really good against them. I looked that up yesterday. Hang on, I'll get it back up.
Okay.
I think they 6 double-digit returns in his last 9 appearances for Spurs against Everton. Also, so he's returned 6 double-digit hauls in the last 9 fixtures, and he's got a really good record against the Toffees. He's also top for goal attempts in the last 6 game weeks. He's got 29 of them. Yes, Spurs are Spursy. There's no getting away from the chaos that is Spurs right now. It's not. There's no consistency. You beat Man City, go and lose to Burnley. Absolutely do Leeds, then go and lose to Middlesbrough. It's peaks and troughs. But the consistent factor is Kane playing well. So in all of these games, even when we are poor, he plays well. And for me, that I would look at him and Son to a certain degree going into this week and think, even as single game weekers, I think there are certain single game weekers who will outscore the double game weeker options that we all pile onto. And we saw that with Weghorst, right, in game week 27. You target the double game weekers, and in doing that, sometimes you overlook the obvious single game weekers with decent fixtures. And I think we might see that with Kane this weekend.
Kane is a funny one because, I mean, in the last 7 games, he's had 3 double-digit hauls and 4 blanks.
Yeah.
And that sums up Spurs as well.
It does,
really.
yeah, it does, yeah. But even in the blanks, he's played well. It's not like he's not played well in the games where he's blanked. Yeah. That's my issue.
Well, that is very true. I just wonder. I mean, my things with Kane are, firstly, how do Everton set up in that game? Because if they set up like they did against City, I think they can frustrate Spurs, because Spurs have already been frustrated by Burnley in a similar type of game. But do they do that, or do they try and attack and try and win the game? Because if they do, that gives Kane and Son more space, and I think Spurs have a better team than Everton, so I think they win it. So this is the way. I know it's really easy to say, but I think this could be a really low scoring game. This could be a 0-0 or a 1-0 or something like that. Or
it was 0-0 last time.
Yeah, or I think Spurs could turn up and hammer Everton 3 or 4-0, because they're not great. I mean, look at them against Bournemouth last night, 0-0 at half times. It's ridiculous. And if Kane shows up, then I think he could easily get double digits. But the question is, does Broja
get double digits?
Does Broja get double digits as well? He could well do. He's got 2 good games. Southampton attack's really nice. The fixtures are decent-ish. And he's got 2.
Yeah, Aston Villa. Yeah, I mean, neither Aston Villa or Newcastle are that solid defensively, particularly since Newcastle lost Trippier. So there will be some weaknesses that they can exploit on that Newcastle defence, and certainly on the Aston Villa Aston Villa defence. We've seen that this season, that they aren't keeping as many clean sheets as they did last year. So I think there's definitely scope in that double game week for Southampton to do. I think the reality is we're talking about 2 players who both could do well this weekend. Yeah. So it's a Premier League problem in some ways.
The thing is, if I bench Kane, I've got Salah, and the rest of my team are all under 7.9 million, something like that. They're all. They're all budget. I'd have Kane on the bench, Dean. It'll be a strange lineup for me. But then
I don't think you can own Kane and bench him this week. I really don't.
Well, yeah, I might, the bench doesn't really matter on a free hit, does it? You might as well have.
No, it doesn't. Bench. But if you're going to have him, you'd play him, surely.
Well, does it matter? But does it matter? Like, I've got.
No, it doesn't matter.
I either play Kane or Broja this week, I think.
But if you're going to play Shea Adams anyway,
do I need the Southampton double up?
Do you need it?
Well, no, I don't really. I mean, that is why I've currently got Kane in the side. But looking at it purely from who scores more out of Broja versus Kane, I think it's close.
Kane has had more opportunities to score goals in the last 6 weeks than Broja has. But Broja's got the double, so we'll get more chances over the course of this game week.
I'm going to keep Kane. I think you do a number on Everton. I think Lampard tries to attack and it all goes wrong. Okay, Stephen Gallagher. Oh, nice super chat from you. Thank you very much. Hi guys. I'm thinking of doing Bowen and Fernandes to Coutinho and Salah for a -4. That'll give me 9 doublers. Would you bench boost De Gea, Trent, Salah, and Cancelo, or wait until big double game week 36 and have all doubles bench boost? Would you bench
Salah,
boost
and who?
Cancelo, Salah, Trent, and De Gea? So it's a big bench. None of them have got.
Salah's record against
you can't
West
bench
Ham.
Salah.
Salah's record against West Ham is ridiculous. So he averages 9.33 points per match against them, and he's only blanked once in 9 Premier League appearances against them. There is no way, I think, Salah doesn't return this weekend. I also think that with the way that West Ham defend, there's a good chance that Trent returns this time around. With the way that Manchester United defend, I think there's a good chance that Cancelo gets attack and returns too. And that would mean I would bench boost.
West Ham beat Liverpool last time they played earlier in the season, 3-2.
Yeah, they did.
But goals doesn't matter.
Salah scored.
Doesn't matter who wins. It just matters who scores you points. And
and I think we're talking about the two teams that realistically are one of them is going to win the league, and they both have to return wins and points. And you're talking about key players within those teams. So in particular with Salah, but also with Trent and with Cancelo. So those are not players I would want to bench full stop. I mean, I have got Cancelo on my bench this week, begrudgingly, because I think he will actually return. But the rest of my bench, I don't think is up to a bench boost this time around. Hence why I'm not doing it. But if I was facing a situation where I was going to have to leave Salah on my bench, then I would 100% bench boost it.
I agree. I think so. I mean, I haven't got Trent or Cancelo on the free hit. I've got Salah, obviously. I mean, the bench boost has got De Gea. I expect City will score in that, but he could make.
But
saves.
He makes so many saves.
Yeah,
he could get 4.
You can't if you genuinely can't find a way to play Salah. I think you have to bench boost, because what other opportunities are you going to have to bench? I can't understand, if you've got 9 doublers, that means you're playing 2 single game week players who aren't Salah. So that doesn't make any sense.
I wonder if one of them's Kane.
Yeah.
Or
who's the other one? Because they're the only 2 single game weekers that I'm considering in my free hit.
A goalie, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
2 single game week goalies, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I think
maybe he's got De Gea and Sanchez.
Stephen, let us know who your 2 single game week players are. Because if you can swap one of those out for Salah, then I'm going to say don't bench boost. If we look at them and go, okay.
If it was Kane, so if he had a single game week goalkeeper and Kane, then you would have a bench of Kane, Trent, and Cancelo. You'd still bench boost that.
But if it is someone like, I don't know.
Who else could it be?
That's it. That's what I want to know. Let's know, Stephen.
It's an Arsenal player against Watford, but unlikely.
Yeah.
I'm waiting now with bated breath to see what he says.
We'll take Joel Ekanen's question first. I can make any of these work on a wild card. So wild card question. Saka, Martinelli or Odegaard? Which would you pick?
Saka. Easy.
Yeah, Saka. That is a really, really easy question, I think. Saka is so far ahead now of Martinelli and Odegaard in terms of like the stats, in terms of his security of starts, in terms of his influence on the team. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Martinelli fan, but I just think with Smith Rowe coming in and scoring when Martinelli was out, there's going to be rotation around there. So I think you have to go Saka. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you could go for Martinelli if you need the money, but if you can make it work with Saka, then you definitely just go Saka.
Yeah, if you don't weaken your team by having Saka over Martinelli, then you'd have Saka all day long.
Yep. Where is Stephen? Stephen Gallagher, we've got to know who's in your first 11. Let us know. That's all our super chats up to date. So let's take some questions. Lynn wants to know about Doherty. Is he nailed?
Oh gosh, Doherty. No, I don't think he is nailed. No, I think okay. So my view on him is that against teams like Leeds, where he doesn't have to defend, he's a good option for Conte. Like Doherty's weakness is his defence. His strength is his attacking play. And in the Spurs team, when we are allowed to attack in a free-flowing manner in the way that Leeds allowed, he is a fantastic option. And he will return points, as we saw in game week 27. The issue for me is that if you put him up against a team that's going to attack us back and that he's going to have to get back and defend, he just doesn't. And then we don't defend well if we don't have... That's why, for me, Reguilon and Royale are for better options because they will get back and they will do some defensive work. They're not as good going forward necessarily, but they do offer that security. And that's why I think there'll be multiple... it'll be constant rotation, I think.
I think so.
It's going to be Doherty and Reguilon, Royale and Sessegnon, and they're just going to rotate because it depends on who we've got. So you look at the Spurs fixtures, and when we come up against teams that are going to let us have space to attack and we won't have to defend too much, like Norwich on the final day of the season, Doherty's great. Sessegnon will be great. But when we have to have some defensive security as well, like against Everton, they will attack. I mean, they've got attacking players, decent ones as well. So we'll have to be solid defensively. And I don't think Doherty has that. And I think, we will see him a fair few times. So if you've got a bench that can cover it, if he doesn't make an appearance, then fine. But I wouldn't personally.
Go there. I think Conte isn't that enamoured with any of his
of them. No, absolutely.
That's the impression I get.
I agree. I think as long as he stays, then I think he's in the market for new ones on both sides next season.
Which is funny with Reguilon because Reguilon looks perfect for that spot. But
I wonder if Reguilon might have been had he not got so many injuries. Like maybe actually if he was coming back from injury, then he gets COVID. It's just been constant issues. And I do wonder whether if he can get an extended run in the team, maybe he might show Conte enough that says, actually, we don't need somebody in that position, but we do need to do the other side of the pitch.
Yep.
Maybe.
Agreed. Sorry to skip Bayless. We missed your question. Bowen to Mount from -4. We talked about the other defender. Bowen to Mount from -4.
Yeah, I think I would do that.
Yeah, Mount is, to me...
It's the game time, isn't it?
It's the game time. He's the obvious captain choice this week. If I knew he was going to start both games, I'd captain him 100%. I just think he misses one. Because they got the game tomorrow, and then the next game's on Thursday, so it's quite a long turnaround. And then they've got the Newcastle game in 2 days.
Don't you think it's more likely that he misses 29?
It could be, but I think that's also the game that Reece James misses out as well. I think
that's the game Reece James misses out as well. But then he's going to have Ziyech properly back by then. So this is... in my head, I was kind of trying to decide what Tuchel might do, which is always impossible. But I think Reece James will miss 29 because you've got close proximity of fixtures at that moment. And he's going to... I think he'll play him in these two, miss 29 and then bring him back in. But... with Mount, it could be similar, couldn't it? I think we could see him get good minutes across game week 28. So if you're on a free hit, I think he's perfect. The question is he going to get good minutes in 29 as well? Or could by that point we see, because obviously Ziyech is coming back, so could it be that they sort of do 60 and 30 and 60 and 30 and then he gets the starting?
Yeah. I mean, this is the problem, is when you're trying to predict these minutes for players, sometimes you should just get in the one that you think is the best one. And I do wonder if I'm overcomplicating a little bit with Havertz, because I think Mount is the better pick. It's just that security. Would I do Bowen to Mount? I think it depends on your 30 plans, because Chelsea haven't got a game and West Ham have. West Ham have got a game. Yeah, they have got a game.
Yeah, play Spurs. Yeah, because we play
Spurs. That's right. Yep, I'm hopefully going to see that game actually. At the Spurs Stadium.
Luckily you.
I know.
Can I come?
Yeah, of course you can. And have you got a season? You've got a season ticket for Spurs, have you?
No, well, we have two in the family, so I do go quite a lot.
Okay, yeah, nice.
I may see if I can go if you're going.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going. We're trying to get tickets. What was my point?
So now you were talking about West Ham and Mount and whether they play in 30 in your strategy.
Thank you. Bowen to Mount, yes, as long as you're okay for 30.
Yeah, if you're free hitting in 30, then it's fine. Yeah.
I think that's fair. More super chats to get through. Thank you.
Has Stephen Gallagher come back yet?
He has. Yeah,
I'm still invested. I'm still invested in this team.
Yep, don't worry. We've got Stephen Gallagher. Yes. He's back. I'll do him in a sec. Face up Ali, Ramsdale or Foster this game week. Which one would you play? That's a tricky one.
That's hard because Foster's obviously got the double. But Foster's going to keep a clean. Ramsdale's going to keep a clean sheet, isn't he? Against Watford.
Oh yeah.
Foster's got the double. 2 chances to keep a clean sheet.
2 chances to let you down.
Didn't last time though, did he?
I'm still annoyed about that. 10 points.
I think I'd play the double. I'll play Foster.
I think you'd play the double. I think you always have to play the double. I mean, Foster could make 9 saves in each game, you know,
and probably will.
And probably will have to. Yeah, I think you if you
play the double.
If you've ever got a kind of choice to make and you're debating it, I think you just go with the double player. I can't, you know, unless it's someone rubbish versus someone good. I think it's both quite similar. They should score around the same. Go for the double, and you never know. Watford could hit double clean sheet, and then you'll be laughing.
Yeah, play the double.
We've answered the skip base, and we moved to Mount. Chintan. This is his team. Oh God, what should my chip strategy be? Oh God, let's try and work this out.
I've got my pen ready.
Okay, so his team is De Gea and Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Trent, Tierney, Cancelo.
Yeah.
Me and 8 Nori.
Okay.
Salah, Son, Rafinha.
Son, Rafinha, yeah.
Coutinho, Bowen.
Okay.
Weghorst, Broja, Dennis.
Weghorst, Broja.
1 free transfer, all chips left apart from...
All chips left? Love it.
Same as me. Well, not anymore because I've used one. So how many doubles is that this week? That's not many.
Not many. That's what I was just looking at. So Rafinha, Coutinho, Broja, Dennis.
8 Nori.
8 Nori, 5.
5. No Chelsea.
No Chelsea. It's not a horrendous team though. It doesn't.
No, it's not.
It's nothing massively wrong with it.
I don't think you free hit it.
I don't think you need to free hit it because I think if you've got 1 free transfer or even 2, because the reality is if you've got both your free hits left, you're going to play 1 in 30 and you're going to play 1 in 36 probably. So you don't need to worry about, you can go in on Chelsea without worrying about the impact that has for game week 30. Plus you can always wildcard out of any issues you have in game week 31 anyway.
Yep. 3. I mean,
doesn't say. Did he say if there's any money in the bank?
5. I mean, you haven't got many for 30. 6.
But you don't need it because you're going to free hit.
Well, that's what I mean. So we'll talk about chip strategy, right? So I think you save a free hit for 30.
Yeah. So I think I would do transfers this week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play a chip this week.
Nope.
In game week 29, how many's he got double in? He's got Arsenal. He's got 1, 2,
Ramsdale.
3.
Not many.
3, 4, 5.
Is it 5?
5.
1, 2.
Ramsdale, Trent, Tierney.
Oh yeah.
Salah, Son. 5.
5. Okay.
But even then, you could use transfers to get some more if you wanted to. I don't think either week is bench boostable with that many doublers.
The big decision is: do you wildcard 29 or do you do it in 31? I think that's the key.
So,
that's the key one.
And that's where I was. So last week when I was here, I said I think I'm going to wildcard in 29, but actually I think I'm going to wildcard in 31 now, because by the time we get to 31, the FA Cup will be done in 30, so we'll know exactly who's made it and so who's blanking in 33. Also, we should have some, hopefully by then, some more news on rearranged fixtures and when they're going to be rescheduled for, because we'll be at that point where we know exactly who's missing where and what's happening in the Champions League and the Europa League and the conference and everything else that everyone's playing in.
Yeah.
So I think a wild card ahead of game week 31 is quite a nice moment, because you're going to be armed with as much information as you're going to get for the run-in. So that's why I'm planning free hit 30, wildcard 31. And then the bench boost I'm really up in the air on. It will just go whenever I feel that there's a good week.
It's hard to know without knowing when the doubles are.
So it might be 36.
You save it, yeah.
It might be 36, but then if you've got 2 free hits, you're likely to free hit in 36. So it could be 29, depending upon how many doubles you have. Or it could just be a nice other double game week, because there will be some other doubles that slot in here and there as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer to that question, to be honest. I mean, I think the one decision to make is: do you do what I've done and use a free hit this week and try and tap into that Chelsea defence? Because if you've got 2, if you're in marking 1 for 30 and you can use 1 now, you're going to have other chips to use towards the end of the season. Maybe you don't need to free hit in one of these weeks. So I think your team looks good, Chintam, but I've free hitted this week because I think there's opportunity to get in Chelsea players.
There definitely is.
If Chelsea hadn't had the double, I wouldn't have free hitted this week. So that's the kind of answer. The chip strategy is, we've outlined it, but the question is, do you want to try and tap into that Chelsea one? We better move on from this because I think people are getting a bit bored. Stephen Gallagher is next.
Yes.
Yay.
What's he got?
Hi, Stephen. So his 2 single game week players are Son and Saka. Keeper is Ramsdale. So you're basically benching one of Son, Saka, or Salah. You got a bench boost. You have
to bench boost it. You have to. You can't bench any of them.
You can't bench any of them.
You don't want to bench Saka against Watford. You do not want to bench Son against Everton, and you definitely don't want to bench Salah against West Ham. So you're bench boosting it.
Yeah, agreed. Haikunu says, "Hi, Ramsey or Coutinho on the wild card. Money is a problem." Isn't it always? If money is a problem, I would
just
go
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Just go Ramsey.
His stats are better than Coutinho's over the last 6.
They are, and also like when you look back at their game against Leeds, they both performed really well in that. 2 goals, and then for Ramsey, Coutinho got a couple of assists in his goal. Like it was good underlying stats for both of them in that one. But Ramsey he's outperforming Coutinho, and I think the thing is for me I own Ramsey and not Coutinho. And if I own Coutinho, I captain him, but I feel a bit weird about captaining Jacob Ramsey this week.
I know. It's because of 4.8.
I know. It seems so. And I've had him since he was 4.5. So, it just feels so bizarre sticking the captain's armband on him. But I think he's a really, really good option for this weekend.
Who was I saying this to? I think I was saying this to Gianni the other day. If Coutinho was 4.5 and Ramsey was 7.8, or whatever he is, would you feel better about captaining Ramsey?
I would. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's completely irrelevant. Like you should really just take the money factor out of it entirely. It just feels so counterintuitive when I've got Salah and Son and people like that in my team to captain.
I've got Coutinho on the free hit team, and everything all my research this week has led me to the conclusion that Ramsey's a better option than Coutinho. so why have I got Coutinho in my side?
Because you feel it's reassuringly expensive.
I think it is, and if I go for Ramsey over Coutinho, I'm going to have 20 million in the bank. It's and it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter, but you should pick the players who you think have got the biggest potential. That's always how it works. I mean, the thing is that Coutinho is a world-class player on his day. I think that's the other thing. He's got set pieces. He's still kind of finding his way kind of into the Villa side. I think they're both good options. They should both score well this week. I'm probably going to captain Coutinho. I think there's lots of people asking about captains this week. It is the toughest week for captaincy. I think there is definitely no standout option. I don't think.
No.
A lot of people are going to go for Salah and just play it safe. I want to captain a doubler. I look at Rafinha, Coutinho, Adams, Havertz or Mount.
Do you trust any of them?
Chelsea's defence, no. I don't trust any of them. The only players I trust to do well this week are the Chelsea defence. But do I want to captain a Chelsea defender? Not really. I mean, Reece James is a potential captain option for me. If I get anything from Tuchel that suggests he's going to start, I think if he starts against Burnley, he starts against Norwich.
Well, Tuchel said he's been training all week. He's not had any issues, no flags from the games. So
why wouldn't he start? I know the signs tell me that he's gonna start. It just feels. But
it'll really annoy me. This is the thing. It will really frustrate me if he doesn't start him in both those games.
I know.
I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know. I'm really torn on the captaincy thing because I'm not free hitting. Like I could put it on any of my double game weekers, but none of them really scream to me in the way that Salah does.
Yeah, it's really tough. Chintan's back. What if I do transfers 28, wildcard 29, free hit 30 and 33, and bench boost 36? Sounds great. Sounds great to me.
Sounds fine to me. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. I think 33 we're gonna see a double there. 36 we're gonna see a double. I think that probably is the optimal chip strategy if you're.
It's just the 29-30 for a wild card because you just have a little bit more knowledge going into going if you do it in 31, just have a little bit more knowledge than you have in 29. So I think it depends on what your team looks like in 29 and whether you can maximise that double. If you can maximise that double with just transfers without it being a massive hit, then I would hold the wild card for 31 just because you've got knowledge, and knowledge is power when it comes to making decisions.
Knowledge is power. Nice. Sheriff says, hello, Samanaz. Bench boosting in 28 with the popular Arsenal picks. Thinking of doing Van Dijk and Saka to Rudiger and Havertz. Captain, thoughts? I mean, you can't really sell Van Dijk, can you, ahead of the double in 29?
Would you really want to sell Saka either
and
ahead
Saka
of Watford?
as well? No. I mean, it looks good this week, but then next week you've lost two doublers. I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that either. And not only are you losing two doublers for next week, you're losing two players who arguably you want this week.
Yeah, and I definitely wouldn't lose Saka for Havertz. That seems...
No.
Nope. No, I wouldn't do that, Sheriff. Some questions on Alonso. We'll wrap this up in a bit. I mean, Alonso, I don't want Alonso. How many games does Alonso start? I haven't even.
You wouldn't want to hold him long term. That's my issue with Alonso.
No,
Alonso on a free hit, maybe. Alonso on a wild card or transfer, no.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't start in 26. Only played 16 minutes. He played 3 minutes against Spurs. He started the majority of games, but he gets subbed off a lot. I did think he actually played really well in the Carabao Cup final. I mean, Salah wasn't quite on it, but I thought Alonso actually did a good job defensively. He got forward. He played well in that. He didn't play in the FA Cup, did he?
No.
So you've got to think he's going to start. They still haven't got any options on at left back.
I just don't like the idea of holding him long term.
I just don't like him. His attacking numbers are rubbish as well. And really surprising, given that how good he's been attacking wise in the past. You look at Chilwell and the returns Chilwell was getting in the same position, and Alonso just hasn't done it. I'm not going there with Alonso.
Reece James or Rudiger, both best options.
I think so. Yeah, I mean Rudiger hasn't really got much goal threat, but if Alonso gets benched, you're not going to be surprised.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, don't think you can quite risk it. Right, that's 45 minutes, Sam. I think we will call it there. Thank you everyone for all your questions and super chats and everything. Good luck mostly to people on free hits who have got teams like mine. Bad luck to anyone who is playing Trent, because I'm not going to have him. He's going to get like 15 points or something and ruin my week. But yeah, good luck everyone. Good luck with your team. Sam, you had a red arrow this week.
I'm attracted to these like big green, lots of little reds. Big green, lots of little reds. And that's just how my season goes. Just one big green, it takes me a long way up. And then I just slowly come back a bit and then back up again. So fingers crossed, this is the week for a big green.
Yes, big greens all round. We've got one final super chat before we end from Christofari. Who to captain? One word answer, Sam. Salah, Coutinho, Sace or Sarr?
Coutinho.
Same. Coutinho. Out of those. Go for the doubler. He's the attacking one. He's got leads. He got double digits against them a few weeks ago. Yeah, Coutinho for me. Right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Sorry about my dog barking. Sorry about my hay fever. But we will be back next week ahead of 29. Both on big greens, right, Sam?